Hi, this is Mike Score from a Flock of Seagulls, and I'm giving you the story behind the song on Consequence.
So you were a hairdresser,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah,
In Liverpool, you were a
yeah,
hairdresser.
yeah.
And and so I have to ask you because it's such a part of pop culture. Obviously, the song is part of pop culture, but gotta ask you the story behind the hair.
When we were rehearsing and stuff like that, usually we would rehearse for a few hours and then we'd go out to a club, and the fashion in Liverpool in them days was to be very glitzy and sparkly,
Yeah.
especially the places we were going to. It was pre new wave, and the new wave stuff was just starting to form. So we knew that we had to look great. Otherwise, people would just go, "Yeah, you're not in a band. You don't look like anything." So we looked at people that had great images. Obviously, David Bowie, and even
Yeah.
Alice Cooper. Brilliant imagery for what he was doing. Absolutely fitted perfectly. Bands like Zig Zig Sputnik, incredible look. So we decided that we had to look great. And being hairdressers, that was the thing we could sit in all day and experiment with. So we did a lot of that. And that look eventually developed just simply by Frank putting his hand on top of my Ziggy Stardust and flattening the middle, and the sides stayed up.
And that was that accidental? Was that intentional?
It was just like, hey, let me look in the mirror, so scoot down a bit. At the same time, because we're in the mirror, my manager was just simply going, "Hey, you guys are late. Get out on stage. Go, go." So I didn't have time to fix my hair. I walked out and started playing, and
Yeah.
all through the set, I noticed people like looking at it and pointing at it. And when we came off, we were talking about it, and it was like, people are noticing that, and Frank was like, "Yeah, it looks great. Like it looks better like that than it did as a Ziggy Stardust kind of thing." So I just decided then that tomorrow night when we're playing, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to just stick the
Yeah.
sides up, let the front
Right, right,
fall
right.
down, and over a couple of weeks or a couple of months, it developed into much, much more of a style. And that became the thing, especially when MTV started talking to us. It was like, "Are you going to do your hair tonight?" Oh, it wasn't, "Are you going to play Iran and Wishing in Space Age?" "Are you going to do your hair?" So I'm like, anything that gets us noticed.
Well, understandably. Which came first, the name of the band or the hair?
The name of the band. Originally, we were called Level 7, but some other stupid band came out and called themselves Level 42,
Yeah,
which was
yeah,
many above our 7. Um,
right.
so at the time, I was into the book Jonathan Livingston Seagull,
Oh,
and favorite band was the Stranglers, and then they have a song where they yell out a flock of seagulls, right? So we went to see the Stranglers. We're in the front row, and Hugh Cornwell, he just yells out a flock of seagulls from the song Toiler on the Sea, and he points at me, and it was like, I've just been given the new name of the band by God on stage there. So
yeah.
we went back to our rehearsal after that show and wiped off Level 7 and wrote a flock of seagulls, and it stuck.
Iran was released on your first full-length album in 1982, and what's really interesting about it, because it was a top 10 smash everywhere, but apparently in the UK it was
No,
not. So in your homeland itself, it wasn't as popular as it was all around the world, including the United States.
we were different to what was going on in England at the time. So we didn't care what was going on in England. We just wanted to do our own thing. And in England at the
Yeah.
time, bands seemed to be somewhat political, and that we wanted to be as far away from being political as possible. We want it to be more entertaining than political.
Yep.
I don't care whether you vote Labour or Conservative or whatever it is, as long as you like our band. It doesn't matter.
Just if you could take us back to your first inspiration of how that song came to be.
Well, we were rehearsing, and we had this piece of music that we just would play over and over again, and it had no nothing. It was just, let's play that little chord sequence and stuff like that. So we were like that with that for a couple of weeks. And then we were trying to get a record deal with a local Liverpool record company. So we went to their offices, and they had Teardrop Explodes, they had Echo and the Bunnymen, they had all the like cool bands from Liverpool. So we went there, we played them a couple of demos, and they were just like, "Yeah, you guys sound good, but we wouldn't know what to do with you because we do this music, and you're over here somewhere." But on the wall, they had a picture of two people, a guy and a girl, running away from a flying saucer that was coming through the clouds. So that picture stuck in my head. And I started to formulate a story about these two people. I changed it a bit. So instead of running away with a girl, the girl in the flying saucer was chasing him, but he was scared and he ran away. She grabs him with a laser beam and sucks him up into the flying saucer. The rest of the guys in the band thought that was a bit crazy, but we didn't care in those days. It was just like, okay, sing that for now. So I started singing. I wasn't even the singer in the band. We were looking for a singer. So gradually that song just started to form around that idea lyrically, because once you get a few lyrics, it takes you to the next step. Okay, let's play that part again because I can sing that now. And then we're like, to Paul, fill in the bits. Where there's nothing going on, fill in the bits. And he came up with his little, things, little launch pads. And all of a sudden, we started to play that as a full song. And we were like, where did that come from? I mean, in reality, although we all worked on it and threw our bit in, all of a sudden at some point, we're like, this song is finished. It's now talking to us. I have this belief that songs don't get written by people, they're already there. They tell you what to do and you just do it. If it's a lead guitar part, the song goes, hey, put a lead guitar part in, and it kind of happens naturally. And I ran was so much like that. And it felt so much like we're all doing the right things for each other. The part that you do, I'm doing this and it's the right thing. And when you stop and I sing, that's perfect. It's like, there's the room. So I think for us, it was almost the first, what we would call perfect Seagulls song. And we knew at the time we did it that it was, if not a hit, for us it was something special, because it
Yeah.
it had leveled us up, from messing about a lot to suddenly, wow, this is where did this come from? Who wrote this? Was it us? But it's so weird how you just get a couple of ideas and then it all suddenly swirls around and pop out comes the arrangement, the vocals, the way it was, and the atmosphere of it. And from once we'd done that once, it started to be what we looked for in the next songs. We had plenty of songs where it never reached that point. So we dumped them and we like, let's move on. It's more important that we move on and take whatever this is. And I think the second one after that was Space Age, which
Ah.
to me leveled up even further. It took us to the stage above Iran.